Hello, my name is Giovanni, and today I'll be dealing with the topic of the Brown Scapular. So first of all, I would like to explain the history behind the Brown Scapular, which really starts the Carmelite order, which, as it is known today, was founded by Saint Berthold, which during the Crusades, when the Saracens, who were Muslims, had toppled over the kingdom established by the Crusaders, and as a result of this, the Carmelites had to flee and mostly fled primarily to Europe. And around this time in Europe, there had been many other religious orders that had been established, such as the most famous being the Franciscans and Dominicans. And eventually, on July 16th, 1251, St. Simon Stock, at the time who was the prior general of the Carmelites, received an apparition by our Blessed Mother in Aylesford, England, which she basically showed her special sign of favor to the order and promised St. Simon Stock that whosoever should wear the Carmelite habit, which was the brown scapular, which in brief, the scapular is a type of garment that on both sides stretched from the neck almost to the feet, and was generally considered to be a war garment, but she promised him that whosoever should wear the scapular devoutly would receive the gift of final perseverance to ultimately make it to heaven. Now it must be explained that the brown scapular is a sacramental, which is in this case a conventional sign which requires intervention from the outside, which is the church, that establishes the connection between the object and what it represents. Now, later on, there's also what's called the Sabbatean privilege, which was formulated when Pope John the 23rd has had a vision of Our Lady of Mount Carmel on March 3rd, 1322, in which after death, if a soul may enter purgatory, on Saturday, which is a day dedicated to her by the church, the soul in purgatory will receive help by the Blessed Virgin Mary. Now, over time, the scapula had been shortened and shortened throughout centuries until it became what we know today. As you can see this depiction on the screen, the two little cloth rectangles attached to two strings. And it used to be the case that only Carmelite priests could enroll people in the brown scapular. But this was later extended to all clerics who at least have been ordained to the presbyterate, and by that I basically mean priests and bishops, since the bishopric is the fullness of the priesthood. Now, firstly, to be enrolled in the brown scapular, one must ask a priest to enroll them according to the formula of the investiture of the brown scapular. I'll provide a safe link in the description with a valid enrollment formula from EWTN in the description. Now it must be noted that it doesn't matter what language the investiture is done in. There are many other languages that could be done with Spanish, Latin, etc. And although I know some would prefer Latin, this is not a necessity, especially as this is a matter of sacramental nature and is not a rule enforced by the church determining its language. Now, first of all, it must be noted that this is not some superstitious thing that once you wear it, you can sin all you want and somehow you'll ultimately go to heaven. That's completely ridiculous. Obviously, these sacraments are just aids, and the only way to get to heaven is to die in a state of grace. Now, to gain the promise of the Sabbatean privilege, one must first of all observe chastity according to the saint life, and to recite the little office of the Blessed Virgin Mary, which is basically a version of, in a sense, it's could be compared to the breviary, which has the hours of Lauds and Vespers for from Sunday to Saturday, and you basically recite the office of readings, which back then was known as matins. You recite Lauds and Vespers of whatever day it is that changes day after day. In some versions, each day there's a new, like each day, like January 1st, December 1st, etc. There's a new readings, etc., new format. But in some versions, there's just the same format from Sunday to Saturday, that there was a specific one for each Saturday, specific one for each Monday, etc. And there are 7 canonical hours that must be prayed to for the little office, which are the hour of matins, or commonly today known as the office of readings, the hour of lauds, in some versions prime, the hours of terce, sext, and none, which today would be daytime prayer, the hour of vespers, or the hour of evening prayer, and the hour of compline, or the hour of night prayer. Or starting with Pope Leo XIII, this obligation can be substituted by a priest with the faculty of hearing confessions for another good work such as praying a daily rosary, etc. For Carmelite confessors, it's usually substituted 7 Paternosters, 7 Ave Marias, and 7 Glorias. Also, Pope St. Pius X had permitted the substitution of a scapular medal instead of the normal cloth scapular as well. This does not apply though to those in third orders, but those not in it may substitute a scapular medal which must be only carried on a person, doesn't have to be worn. Ultimately though, the scapular is a very great promise of Our Lady, and you can read online about how many miracles of conversions have been done by it, on top of the details and history, and especially to take it seriously. That's not a joke, as you can see from the other miracles of people trying to abuse the scapular and this not working out. Me personally, I've already been enrolled in previously, and I would greatly encourage others to be enrolled. Thank you.